How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific 3 Eastern, Sundays 3 Pacific 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it is Thursday here on the show. You know what that means? We got a lot to talk about. We got AEW Dynamite. The 6th anniversary show was last night. And this coming Tuesday, of course, we've got a big head-to-head battle. It is the NXT Showdown show versus AEW Title Tuesday. And at this point, officially, only one match for a title is on Title Tuesday. And it is Mercedes Moné versus a local wrestler from Florida. Suffice to say, I thought it was a pretty good edition of Dynamite. Mostly the first hour. Second hour kind of fell off. But as far as like building up for that head-to-head battle, it appears that Tony has just thrown in the towel. They are not really going to make much of an effort to defeat NXT on Tuesday, which wasn't going to happen anyway, obviously. You know, it's NXT's night. It's a very, very big show. Whatever you thought of NXT this past Tuesday, I mean, the one thing you can say is they spent that entire show building up this upcoming Tuesday as a big blockbuster event. So we'll tell you about Dynamite. We'll tell you about both the shows coming up this Tuesday. We got a lot of other news as well, including an update on Ahmed Johnson, who had a scary car accident but appears to be okay. TNA negotiations for a new television deal. Andrade has returned to AEW. We have got TNA President Carlos Silva talking about Joe Hendry's future. I think we all know what Joe Hendry's future is. Tanahashi's got some matches coming up on his retirement tour. Big Boom AJ's back, brother. And you know who else is back? Filthy Tom Lawler. He'll be here after the break as well. A lot to get into today. Back in a moment. Wrestling Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. I think this show was like the best and worst of AEW.
The earliest story of this show was somebody almost died in every match. I thought MJF's head was going to fall off his body.
It looked like he put his own head into the mat as hard as he could.
Momo kicks Mercedes. Mercedes might have a bruised larynx.
I was certain Swerve had broken his neck.
Man, this dude landed right on his head.
Mariah May versus Toni Storm.
Good Lord.
Mariah gets her hands on a champagne bottle and smashes it right into Tony's crotch.
Some guy in the front row holds up a sign that goes, "For the sickos!"
It sure was.
It's like, well, goddamn, this was for the sickos, all
as
right.
sick as you can get.
Yes.
I did not have glass to the vajayjay on my bingo card.
I don't know why not.
I certainly hope not.
You should have.
What kind of bingo are we playing over there? And the two big screens just read, "The End." This, in hindsight, absolutely should have ended the show.
Maybe it should have. However, I can't guarantee that this match was going to be this good with this much heat 5 hours into the live show.
Well, there's that.
Following all those matches we saw. Like,
true.
every time people say this should main event, it's like, are you sure you want that? Then we had Takeshi and Kenny. Another incredible match.
What is up with they have an announcer that wears a mask?
Oh, no. God, please, not this.
What
Anyway, the match.
What is that about?
I actually was fixing to give Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher the highest star rating on the show, but I would say that by the last 3-4 minutes, I was like, well, you did a little too much here. People are going to be mad, but it's true. We didn't need the Spanish fly off the top of the cage. This match would have been as good or better without it.
The penis first Styles clash into the tax.
That should be a finish.
That should be a career ender. It is tomb silent.
Oh, yeah, this crowd's dead.
They've seen every single goddamn thing two human beings can do to each other, and now men are grappling.
And Jason here goes, it's go away heat, Brian. He sucks. Listen, do you guys know what go away heat is?
Listen.
There were 11,000 people in this building. It's just like when people hated Jericho. There still is no evidence that he actually ran anybody off. They just didn't want him. Like, there's a difference. You want a different champion, but who is quitting AEW because Jon Moxley retained tonight?
Put the belt on Swerve immediately, as soon as possible. It could be me, it could be you, it could be Mark, anyone.
I don't want it.
Just, it's run its course.
All right. Golly, this Moxley has heat with these people. What did you think, Mark?
Oh, I'm coming for you now. I punched him in the diverticulitis.
Pissed like a sprinkler.
Go
Back
out, and
forth,
we are going to do
back
what was
and
billed.
forth.
No, not like this.
There was more. There was.
It's not for me. Why do you like it
No,
so
Jason.
much? Are you guys on Tony's payroll?
Back on the show, Bryan Alvarez here. Wrestling Observer Live. Filthy Tom Lawler is joining us here today. Hello to everybody on a Twitch chat, including my good friend here, Derpy Dodo82. He's probably thinking, oh my God, what did I say? Yeah, you said something, brother. But I'm not going to yell at you because I agree with you, but I want to make a comment here. This has to do with last night's Dynamite show. So this coming Tuesday, there is the head-to-head battle. It is the NXT Showdown show, and it is AW Dynamite Title Tuesday. Wednesday is Collision, but not live, taped for, I start this show and I start running stuff down, and it's like, I really got to use my brain at this point. Like, between NXT and TNA, and then I'm watching a different TNA from 20 years ago on Tuesdays, and then there's Title Tuesday, but I'm like, oh my God, I can't even keep all this straight. But anyway.
But Brian, in your advanced age, it's good to use your brain.
Oh, I'm using my brain.
These
all
are
right.
mental exercises.
It is mental exercises.
And also, hey, shout out to the YouTube homies in the chat.
Oh, stop.
Twitch always gets a shout out, but what's up, YouTube?
So anyway, the point is, I was talking about how last night's Dynamite, Tony, he's not trying to compete on Tuesday. And you could see watching the show, it was like, there's just, Anyway, Derpy here says, Tony booking for the people he knows are going to watch and not worrying too much about any war is fine by me. He should always focus on his show and not what others are doing. I agree 1,000%. I've been saying this forever. A lot of times people get way too worried about the other side. And, when we were young, maybe not you, Tom, because you're not as old as I am, but when we were younger, when I was a kid, there was a famous old saying. It was called mind your own business. Well,
mind your own beeswax.
People have forgotten all about that in 2025. I'm not even talking about in wrestling. I'm talking nobody can just mind their own business. Everybody is all worried about everyone else's business, but that's another story for another day. But anyway, yes, Tony's main concern needs to be his own product, his own business. It's the same with WWE, although they can't help themselves. It's got to be a war for them. But Tony, and this was exactly what I was arguing when it came to that head-to-head battle for the pay-per-view. It's like, run the best show you can, do your best, like that's your main thing. However, when it comes to last night's Dynamite, he should always focus on his show and not what others are doing, blah, blah, blah. He didn't do that.
No, I
Bro,
mean, he should, yes.
Title Tuesday is Tuesday. I knew this was going to happen, too. I talked about this yesterday because it was a Battle of the Belts, and there were never any belts on the line. Right now, Title Tuesday has one title match. And the only title match that we know is Mercedes Moné versus a wrestler from Florida. We don't have a name. Nothing. The rest of Title Tuesday is just like matches. Even the Brodito match versus the Don Callis family, Okada and Takeshita, at no point during Don Callis' challenge were the words titles, belts, championships. Dude, it's just a match. Unless they realize, oh my God, we need some title matches. Title Tuesday, I'm sorry, it should have a bunch of title matches. There were a bunch of matches last night where you and I both said, hey, maybe Nick Jackson pins Bandito, we get a title match. Nope, they did none of that last night. one title match without even a challenger at this point. So, yeah, he needs to work on his own show. That's what he needs to work on. Now, you were saying.
I would have aped what you said, so.
Thank you. We'll get into Dynamite later on.
But when I did it, it would have been a great ape.
There was some good stuff on Dynamite,
not this-
especially that first hour, but... Did you listen to Observer Radio, where Dave said he liked NXT?
What do you want me to say in response to that?
Oh, my God. This was like... I could not... This is what I could not believe my ears. Because I got people that get so mad at me when I bury something in NXT. And even those people were like, I can't defend the show this week. I just can't. And then, like, I saw a bunch of stuff on Twitter. It's like, I hate Alvarez, but I can't disagree with him on this one. It's like, that's all I saw yesterday. And then I start doing Observer Radio, and he actually goes, I like the show. I went, oh, my Lord in heaven. And apparently did a good number, but, I mean, I don't even know anymore. I don't get it anymore. It's all passed me by. I just do my best. But we'll get to that as we get going here. Best wishes to Ahmed Johnson. Remember old Ahmed Johnson?
I do remember Ahmed Johnson, a staple of my childhood. Loved watching him run roughshod.
I seem to remember he was like your
anything in front of
favorite
him.
wrestler. Wasn't he? Didn't you say that?
I
Or was
don't
that somebody else?
Yeah. That might have been Mr. Thomas. that said
Somebody
that.
really liked Ahmed Johnson.
I loved watching him. Don't get me wrong. I was a bigger fan, though, of Big T.
Oh, God. Remember that feud over the letter T?
Yes, I do. I just mentioned the character. Thank you.
Well, he didn't mention if you
Harlem
liked the
Heat
angle.
2000.
There's a difference between liking the character and liking the angle. So anyway, he was recently in a car accident. He was hit by a drunk driver.
Oof.
He said that he had suffered a few broken ribs. When the Lord is on your side, nothing can harm you, he said. Few broken ribs, and he believes he will be fine. I believe he's now 62 years old.
Wow.
So
I'm surprised the other vehicle wasn't smashed to pieces.
it
if
could have
ran
been.
into
We don't
Ahmed.
know, actually.
That's a good point.
We don't know. So a lot of news coming out of TNA. President Carlos Silva, who actually looks remarkably like Shawn Michaels, he revealed that things have progressed to the point where TNA is in active negotiations with one partner.
Brian, can you do me a favor during the break and go put on a baseball cap and some glasses? Because you said he looks like Shawn Michaels, but I think he looks suspiciously like one Bryan Alvarez.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, I mean, he might, for all I know. I don't have any glasses here after LASIK, but maybe I can find a
Good, then I
baseball
can punch
cap.
you.
Said we're in active negotiations with a partner. We're going to work through that. Can't really put on a timeline. Good news is progress has started. We're no longer just talking to a bunch of people. We have an interested partner and working through potentially a deal for 2026. Of course, the rumors this summer were that they were going to likely end up on the CW, maybe on Wednesdays. Although, honestly, this is another one. I mean, it probably should be. It probably should remain on Thursdays. But, who was it? I think it was Santino. Santino did an interview, and
Yeah.
he said if we got national TV, we'll automatically be number 2. And, this was another big thing, but here's the deal. If they get CW, if you're looking at this purely via viewership, then they likely would be number 2. But if they're getting a $10 million television deal, that can't possibly be right. They would be nowhere in the stratosphere of being number 2 in terms of revenue. I mean, the AEW television deal, I mean, that's in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And, I mean, I don't know why he keeps throwing around $10 million. I mean, if they got on A&E or they got on CW, I mean, they better be making more than $10 million, especially if they're going live 52 weeks a year. So anyway, I guess we'll find out. But he also talked about Joe Hendry, and he didn't flat out say that Joe Hendry is leaving, but he did say he is currently a TNA star. So I think we're all well aware that Joe Hendry's going to end up in WWE in the new year. But I don't think that's much of a surprise to anybody.
Did Carlos Silva have any words on the potential sale of TNA to Lorenzo Fertitta?
He did not. He did not. Maybe that's still to come as well. Maybe Lorenzo's going to start a television station. This all ties together. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Well, we reviewed SmackDown yesterday, Tom, and you don't even get SmackDown. You're very, just, you know how you are.
Fine. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
That's your impression of
Yeah,
me?
that's my impression of you.
Wow.
So what are we, at least, I hope you at least watch a SmackDown main event.
I watched the entire show. of
Okay, because there's a
SmackDown.
lot of people that still like your review, Tom.
I went on the board and I saw like 2 people.
Yeah, do you go on, you go on Twitter?
Yeah, I do go on Twitter.
You read my emails?
I do go on
The
Twitter.
text messages? I mean,
Do you go on Twitter? Because if you do,
unfortunately, yes.
you would have seen one of the greatest moments in world history.
In
take
world
place.
history, really.
World history. Frank Tate walked away the victor of the fight, but he walked away an even bigger winner when it comes to life. This man completed what I would say is the best high five, the best dap up in the history of the galaxy. This man had his dog. His dog. And when I say dog,
Barely a dog.
I mean D-O-G and D-A-W-G. This was a dog, baby. The dog was so proud. You can see just the elation in that dog's face. He threw that paw up. He let it hang for a few moments, and then he brought
Tom's
it down
not even
for the dap.
Tom's not even doing this justice. Everyone has seen a dog,
Listen.
like you put your hand out and the dog like puts his paw up to shake hands. This freaking dog goes, ah, hapa! Like, what? That was more than a high five. I don't even know what you would even term that. He dunked. He dunked that man.
30 million views on this clip. And that is about 1/10 of what it should have. So if you haven't seen it, you deserve it. Treat yourself. Go to my Twitter. Watch Frank Tate high five his dog.
No, he did not high five his dog.
The dog high fived
His dog high fived him. Yes. He just wanted like a, just boom. And this dog was like, no way, brother. You knock that man out. I'm going to give you a big time dunking high five from way up high. You go high five, up high, down low, too slow. This was an up high. Guy should have pulled his hand away.
It's the best thing you've ever seen.
Man, too slow, Joe. Yeah, it was pretty good. Not going to lie. I liked it. So during the break, Tom and I were talking about the history of Spike TV. Tom's reminiscing about all these shows he used to watch, like Deadliest Warrior.
Fantastic show.
There actually was a lot of fun shows on Spike. So I was looking here, and
Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
Spike is now Paramount and Paramount Plus. And it had been Spike all the way up through 2018. So it started as the Nashville Network back in 1983. In 1983, that it was a Nashville network, which I think ECW ended up on there, right?
ECW was on the Nashville Network, which then transformed into the National Network,
They
where
didn't want
actually one Don Callis was the main antagonist as a member of that very network.
So they became the National Network for a whopping year, and then they rebranded to the new TNN. And that was a couple of years. And then in 2003, they became Spike TV. And then for reasons that can only be explained by people in meetings with nothing to do, in 2006, it changed from Spike TV to just Spike. Or it remained until 2018. It was very important to rebrand it without the letters TV in it. I don't know why. But that's the history. Pretty cool, huh? What do you think about the return of Andrade?
I was surprised.
I was too, let me tell you.
I did not expect Andrade to show up at the beginning of AEW Dynamite Attack Kenny Omega after a big win by Kenny Omega amongst some other chaos that was happening. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just didn't expect him to end up back in AEW, 2 years after his departure? 18 months, I guess, maybe after his departure in the first place?
Well, I don't really have a lot of inside information on his return, but I did hear that apparently, because, everyone was very, he left and he clearly didn't want to be there and he had backstage issues and he just wanted to go back to WWE. Like, why would you bring the guy back? And apparently, I guess Tony told people that, he was one of the guys that did it right. As he was going to leave. I guess he gave him plenty of warning. He did some stuff on the way out. And I guess, Tony thought he did it the right way. And so he brought him back. And so now we'll see how he does in his second run. A lot of those, not all, you and I actually had some names of people that had been released from WWE that did fine in TNA. The biggest name, obviously, was Swerve.
AEW, you mean?
AEW. What did I say?
TNA.
God, this is it's too much.
There's been plenty of people who've left WWE and then also done very well in TNA lately.
That's the main one. It used to be back in the day was you would fire anybody from WWE and TNA would immediately hire them. And the biggest name actually was Kurt Angle, because when they fired Kurt Angle, I mean, this was back in 2006 or whatever. Kurt Angle was a guy.
He was on a downhill slide fast at that point.
I heard from people there that they just thought we had to fire him because he's going to die. Like, he's going to show up dead, and we don't want it to happen, And, like, everybody knew that, and TNA was like, we'll take him immediately. And they did. And they took Jeff Hardy after car wrecks and...
Well, also AEW, you were talking with Dave last night about guys that went to AEW. Jeff Hardy, if I remember correct, was having issues with WWE. He got himself fired because he showed up and was acting all weird and then left through the crowd, if I remember correctly. And then showed up on AEW a few weeks later, had the preposterously long entrance and dance while his brother was getting beat up, and then was around for a little while. So he's one of the other few who were fired and then showed up for disciplinary reasons.
Actually, somebody asked about Samoa Joe.
Well, I think you have to say, like, Andrade and Jeff Hardy apparently were fired for disciplinary reasons.
That's true.
Some of the other guys were fired for budget cuts. It's not like Swerve was causing problems outside of wrestling or backstage and was let go.
No.
I mean, something happened with Andrade, something happened with Jeff Hardy that caused that. And those are the only two that I can really remember.
Yeah, so Joe was released, but it wasn't for any disciplinary reason. But he did go immediately to AEW, and he did awesome. So there are some former WWE wrestlers that have done very well in AEW, and others have had some disciplinary issues. So, hey, listen, I hope the guy does well. I think he's a very talented guy, and the funny thing is, the one thing, and I still can't figure this out, because the word, I mean, obviously there was a disciplinary reason, but we kept hearing that they weren't happy with how well he spoke English. And I just watched this show, and I just cannot figure this out for the life of me, because you know how many people on Raw and SmackDown don't speak English very well at all? I mean, we have subtitles all over. Every time Nakamura's on the show, all subtitles. Asuka actually speaks really good English, but they use subtitles for her gimmick. Julia and Stephanie and even like Kyrie and EO.
Lexus King.
All right, you got me on that one. But anyway, you're an idiot. So the point is, Andrade can do promos in English. I've seen him do them, and I don't know what it is, but I really like his broken English promos. I don't know, man. I hope he does well in AEW. We'll see. But he's there now. So there you go.
Along with another debut.
Actually, before you get there, I want to mention Andrade on October 26th. He's also doing an indie date for Mucha Lucha Atlanta, and he's going to be facing L.A. Park, the original La Parka, versus Andrade on October 26th. That sounds like something else, man. All right, who else debuted, Tom?
Well, we had the debut and reveal of the Clone.
Yeah, we did.
If you didn't see the reveal, I mean, that's because they didn't show it. They were too busy showing the reaction of Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly as Clone took off his software that resembled a hologram and revealed himself as the newest member of the Don Callis family to little applause.
I hated this almost as much as I hated NXT because I am heavily invested in the idea of a clone gimmick. And, man, they botched this so spectacularly. Now, granted, here's the thing.
They botched it from the start.
They should never have told us a clone was coming. That was the beginning of the mistake.
No. The mistake was when they took Hologram out and they told everybody. Because then Hologram runs down during this match. And when I say ran down, this is a guy who's supposed to be out for a year.
Yeah.
He runs down during the middle of the match and nobody thinks twice about it. What injury did Hologram possibly have that you could have discerned from when Clone ran down to the ring?
God, it was dumb. And everybody, the announcers had to pretend they thought it was hologram. The conglomeration had to pretend they thought it was hologram. Everyone looked so stupid. And then he finally reveals himself as the clone. It's like, listen, if you can do a clone gimmick, first off, you need twins, okay? Not masked guys. And you got to have a guy who's a babyface, and then they could do it, just like they had to do it because the guy really got hurt. But the guy, let's just say you, Tom. Let's say you've got a twin, but also a triplet, and no one knows it, but you guys can all work. Okay, that's what makes it so hard to actually do in real life. So,
well, one of us would have to be able to work
you have to be wrestling as a babyface or whatever, and then one day you get injured. And they announce he's not going to be back for a year. Well, on the very next show, you need to come out and you need to, do something. And everyone's like, how's this guy back already? This doesn't make any sense. Well, then you keep wrestling, even though you allegedly had this injury. But maybe, you wrestle different or whatever. Maybe you're a little more heelish. And then, at some point, you're on an excursion or whatever, but they say you're on an excursion, but you show up on the next show, but you're like a good guy.
Where am I? TJPW?
And then whatever. But then they're like, how come you're being all nice now, but you were and then you say, I have been gone for 9 months. The guy that was here was my clone. And everyone's like, what is this guy talking about? And then, some days you wrestle as a babyface, some days you wrestle as a heel. Whenever you're a babyface, you say, that wasn't me, that was the clone. And everyone's like, okay, this is a stupid gimmick. This guy's pretending like he's two guys, but we all know it's the same guy. And then it's all build to the day where the actual clone shows up. And people are like, oh my God, there actually was a clone. And then, you work in that there's actually another one. There's and you just go from there. But no, they didn't do that. They announced there was a clone coming. The first guy got injured. Then immediately after he's injured, the other guy shows up. Everyone has to act stupid. And then, wow, it's the clone. I thought, you just botched my whole storyline I've been thinking for 20 years. Oh, God. I didn't like it. Do you have a twin? No?
No.
Someday I'm going to get this done. Someday. All right. Hey, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to do Dynamite. You don't have notes, right?
No. I told you this off air.
I
and
know.
Now you're throwing me under the bus.
I'm not throwing you under the
on
bus.
air.
I'm just
Gosh.
preparing everybody because then people don't go, oh, why doesn't Bryan let Tom talk? Why does he have to do the review? Now you know, everybody. Back in a moment. Observer Live. Check out this free video and make sure you hit like and subscribe. Hey, listen, we're going to start with the real main event of the weekend. We witnessed with our own eyes Minoru Suzuki versus Butterbean with Dan Severn as the special guest referee. The worst match in the history of professional wrestling.
We all knew it was going to be a train wreck.
Oh, yeah.
I said, this is going to be a train wreck. I want to see this train wreck. I must see this train wreck.
I will give credit to Butterbean. Butterbean was very, very fat, and I don't think that he could walk. And he spent a lot of time with DDP.
Yes.
Did a lot of DDP yoga.
Yes.
And DDP literally got him back on his feet.
Yeah.
The entire first round is just like standing there. And the brawling's kind of like, and Suzuki like throws, he finally gives him a good one. How'd you like that one? So Butterbean falls to the ground by holding onto the top rope, squatting down a little, grabbing the middle rope, squatting down a little further, and then he lays on the ground. The crowd's chanting "Fight Forever," which sounds like a horrible idea. So the ring announcer says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have just heard from the special enforcer, Dan the Beast Severn. He has ruled that the match is a double countout." And the fans are like, "What? Boo!" And they're all angry. And I'm like, this is the most ballsy match I've ever seen. I heard a rumor that Suzuki was talking to someone before the show about this match. And he was like, this match, very bad. And the person was like, Minoru, dude, it's going to be fine. Like, you can do this. You're great. This match is going to end up fine. And Suzuki said, no. That was it. Okay. And I got in just in time to see Minoru Suzuki versus the Sex Doll. And people were very upset that I did not refer to the Sex Doll by her name.
Yoshihiko.
I have great respect for the Sex Doll as a non-person because the Sex Doll is not a person. But there's a reason.
It's a doll.
There's a reason.
For sex.
Is he going to wrestle a sex doll and have a better match with a doll than he had with Butterbean? And the answer is yes.
Emphatically. The Butterbean match exposed the business much more than this match.
Yes, in fact it did.
The match with the Sex Doll was far more realistic. It was far more believable. It was far more credible. I swear to God, I'm not exaggerating or making this up.
Back here on the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Filthy Tom Lawler is joining us here today. Saray debuted for Ring of Honor yesterday. Big Boom AJ is going to be working the pay-per-view. Hiroshi Tanahashi is going to be working a match for Noah.
In honor of Antonio Inoki, Big Boom AJ will be on Wrestle Dream. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, it's no longer the Inoki show. Once they moved it out of Seattle. Come on. All right, let's quickly look at this show. I'll have a lot more.
Who's Tanahashi wrestling? Kaito Kiyomiya? Is he going to beat him?
It's a tag team match. Where are we here? Tanahashi is heading on October 11th to Noah. Him and Kaito Kiyomiya will be facing Marufuji and Keno. Wrestle Odyssey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Keno gonna kick the crap out of old Tanahashi's dusty knees.
He better
Could
work
be a rough
light.
day for him. Have you ever watched Keno?
Yeah.
He's not working light, brother.
Charlie Dempsey's over there in Noah, so every time these guys, I'm telling you, even brief excursions, even 4 or 5 shows that Trick did when he went to TNA for a while, I mean, he came back better. And Anna Jay, when she went to Stardom for a month, she came back way better. I mean, these things need to happen more often, all over the place. Get people out experiencing different things, different places, different wrestlers, the whole shebang. So anyway, quick look at Dynamite. Vinny and I will have much more on this tonight. Let me tell you, on the Bryan and Vinny Show for subscribers. WrestlingObserver.com, video.f4wonline.com, f4wonline.com/Apple, f4wonline.com/Spotify, all available. I haven't even begun to get into this NXT show. So, Dynamite, 6th anniversary show opened up with the Young Bucks. And Matt Jackson says, I got a great idea for an entrance. I'm going to need some money, but I got to go make some phone calls. And Nick is out in front of his favorite place, which is a casino. And apparently in real life, Nick is a big fan of casinos.
The show is at a casino.
I don't think he loses. Oh, is that what it was? I see.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Well, he went to gamble and he lost all his money. Matt came back. You lost everything? So they're broke again. They're going to have to win another $500,000 match.
You know what? I'm pretty sure this is actually where this took place, is where I went and partied the night that Seth Petrozelli knocked out Kimbo Slice.
Really?
Back on Elite XC. Yeah, because we fled from Miami. And I think this may have been where we ended up.
Wow. Yeah, they billed them as the Broke Bucks, but they should have been billed as the Young Brokes. But that's for another day. Young Bucks and Alexander versus Kenny Omega and Brodito.
I think it's a play on words, but
This was a good match. And Omega hit Alexander with the one-winged angel. I was like, huh? Why didn't we set up a title match for Title Tuesday? We did not. Omega wins, pins Alexander, and then Omega and Bucks are having a stare down, and Alexander jumps Omega. Out comes the Jurassic Express, and they ignore Kenny. They get in the face of the Young Bucks, and we have a brawl breakout, and ends up with Jurassic Express clearing the ring of everybody except Kenny, and then Kenny and Jack Perry get into this huge argument, and Excalibur says Jack Perry caused Kenny to be stretchered out. And, I know some of you sickos are angry. I don't care. I had no earthly idea what was going on here. And as it turns out, 1 year ago, they did an angle with Jack Perry and Kenny Omega, which got him out of action for his diverticulitis.
isn't that the one where he was barfing up like the Ultimate Warrior?
No follow-up to this whatsoever, and we haven't even seen Jack Perry since January. And, they immediately go to this angle, and I was like, I don't remember any of this. What is happening? And they didn't even do a good job explaining it. They were just like, he caused him to be stretchered out. I was like, is this recently? Is this... So anyway, they could have done a significantly better job with that one. And then that's when we had the debut of Andrade, and he beat up Kenny Omega, and that was that. He is now in the Don Callis family, which is like the Heenan family, except about 75 extra members. So
Yeah, massive. I'm not talking about what producer Rob's review of Don Callis in the urinal was. I'm talking about the size of the family.
had a Mark Briscoe promo. It was great, although he really didn't say anything, except that he's done with MJF, which I thought we knew, and he'll celebrate with Orange. Golly. When he beats Kyle Fletcher tonight. Orange Cassidy then proceeded to not beat Kyle Fletcher when the Clone debuted. Cost Orange the match.
And did what? Joined the Don Callis family.
He joined the Don Callis family. Yeah. I thought he was going to join the Clone Glomeration, but apparently not. I was very proud of that one. Thank you. Then we had Renee with Mercedes, where she said she wants to make history and put the title on the line against someone local, someone from Florida. Who do you think it is?
Britt Baker.
It's not Britt Baker. Although
You asked.
the name, well, I mean, it could be. I don't know. I have no idea who it's going to be. But the one name that people kept mentioning on the board is they think it's going to be Izzy. Remember Bailey's biggest fan, Izzy? Yeah. Because Izzy was a little kid. She was a big Bailey fan. There was a moment where Sasha yelled at her and made her cry. Izzy is now a trained wrestler, and she's from Florida. Hangman Hobbs and Joe versus the Death Riders.
I hope Dave brings the same energy he brought to Andrade to that segment next week, if that's who it ends up being.
So listen, I want to make it clear. I'm a big fan of the fact that Hangman is facing Samoa Joe upcoming pay-per-view here. However, remember that one time when, like, Chris Jericho or Kane spilled coffee on Jericho or vice versa in, like, 2006, and it was, like, the impetus for this long feud?
I remember when Samoa Joe bumped shoulders with Marishima at the beginning of an ROH show, and then they got into a fight.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen a world... This is not a match, guys. This is a world championship match on pay-per-view. And the reason it's happening is Hangman, Hobbs, and Joe did a tag match, and Hangman took a tag that Joe wanted. I don't want any of you to tell me that I'm wrong or this or that. That's exactly what happened. They were in a tag match. Joe wanted a tag. Hangman was angry, so he took it from Joe. It made Joe very angry. They got into a big argument afterwards. Joe screamed at him, "You've never beaten me." And now they're having a world championship match on pay-per-view. And listen, I am excited. The promos are going to be great. I swear to God that Joe had the best promo in this entire show building up the match, but that's kind of a silly way to get a world title match. We had Toni Storm beating Ty Mello, and after she won, she challenged Statlander in a promo where everyone in the crowd just gave her the what treatment the entire promo. Like, what? And I didn't hear this, but Dave said during the Kyle Fletcher match, people actually chanted, "You can't wrestle." Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So then he did a body slam.
Was like Stevie Richards and his podcast crew there or something? What happened here? That's weird.
He was missing something, I guess.
Gates of Agony beat the Swirl. They licked him.
They were, you know what? Were they the Gates of Agony? Because they called them GOA. I don't think they even called them the Gates of Agony, did they?
Huh.
I was like, really? Goa from the region in India?
Well, they're GOA now. And then MVP challenged them to a no DQ street fight on Title Tuesday. There are no titles on the line in this match. Don Calson cut a promo on Brodito. As noted, at no point did he mention titles, belts, championship matches. They're just having a wrestling match. Brodito versus Okada and Takeshita next week. Match will be awesome, but we could use some title matches, brother.
Well, and there's going to be dissension. You know what I mean?
Well, of course there will.
That one is set up so that there could be maybe the final angle in this breakup between Takeshita and Okada.
No. I mean, maybe. Here's the thing. Talked about this last night. Takeshita is probably winning the IWGP title in 2 weeks. Okay? Once that happens, he ain't losing to Okada. Okada is the Triple Crown champion, or whatever they're calling this unified belt. So, you know, they can't do the match unless Takeshi's going to win all those titles. So they either have to do this big match, like, in a week or two, or they're going to have to wait a long time. Unless they want to, like, put the IWGP title on Okada or put all these Continental belts on Takeshita. I mean, they're in a corner here.
I think it's about damn time that Takeshita beats Okada and just has all these belts.
Well, he could.
Why not? He wins the IWGP belt next week. That frees up Zack Sabre Jr. to wrestle against Aaron Wolf at Wrestle Kingdom. And then you have Takeshita defending against somebody on that same show. Okada can wrestle Tanahashi, like you guys talked about last night. And everybody can go to the show and then go home happy.
Well, I mean, we'll see which way they go, but they got to do something. So then we had Statlander and Darby versus Marina and Wheeler. This finish was like so stupid. So Marina gets powder thrown in her eyes.
Well, first she got thrown barefoot on
Yes.
a thumbtacks, which was horrific.
So she gets thrown in, and then she gets blinded. Okay? She can't see. And so she grabs Wheeler Yuta, her partner, and she begins choking him. Okay? So we're supposed to believe that this lady who can't see has mistaken Wheeler Yuta for Darby Allin. Wheeler's got long, flowing hair in her face. He's got this
He's got a beard.
thick beard that she couldn't possibly choke him without like, I was like, God, this is preposterous. And then Darby hit the coffin drop on both of them. Statlander hit the 450. Darby and Statlander both covered Wheeler, pinned him. And that was that. And then they beat down Darby afterwards because we have to have heat to end every episode of Dynamite.
Well, Timeless Tony Storm, who has slowly transformed more and more into the Joker, was fighting with Statlander to the back. And then we had Jon Moxley come out. Pac beat down Darby Allin, and then they made the challenge for what can only be the most disgusting, horrific stipulation they could come up with for these two guys. I quit.
Yeah. Hey, we'll come back from the break. We're going to talk more about Wheeler and Darby because I got to address Yeti Pot Pie here. Back in a moment. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Jared, put old Granny on. Let's see what she's up to. Oh, man, she's doing something. Oh, Lord.
She's trying to plug in the box, Brian.
Granny can't connect. And so I call her on the phone, and she alerts us that she apparently knocked the box off her desk. Whatever's happening right there, that doesn't look good. She knocked down the camera now? What's going on?
She's got a hold of the camera, I think.
She's okay. Well, we've got the ceiling at least. There's the box. Hey, we got the box, Jared. Does it look like it's plugged in?
No.
It's definitely not on.
No.
Okay. That's her back, I believe. She appears to be doing something.
Apparently yoga.
That's her hair. Are we sure that's not Ric Flair? Now she's got to find the phone, too.
Think anyone's going to still subscribe after the show?
I hope we get a bunch of video signups. This is interesting.
Is it now?
Oh, man, we can almost see the front of the tie line to see if it's on. But we can't. We can only see the side of it, as well as a flashlight and dice. I don't know why there are dice there.
Well, you never know when you're going to play dice in the dark.
She's still doing something.
That's good radio, boss.
Show that again, what's she doing?
You know what's a good show is the Big Vinny V show.
Is it?
I reviewed Poet Armenia 2025.
She might be tying her shoe or something.
Ed and
down
San
there.
Antonio show.
Granny is furiously doing something. It's possible that we should sabotage the box every week.
No!
So that she can, get up and down like Roddy Piper once said. No, I know. I'm calling you. Phone. I'm calling you. Oh, my God. How are you?
I'm exhausted. Oh, I want to tell Vinny I watched his show today.
Thank you, Granny. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good.
Good. That sounded very sincere.
Stunning review. Well,
Anyway.
can we please make that into a commercial, Jared, for Vinny's show? Apple Podcast carries every podcast that we produce.
Oh, I want to tell Vinny I watched his show today.
Thank you, Granny. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good.
Good.
So check it out, f4wonline.com/Apple. Try your free trial today. What is happening here? Yes, Granny?
I don't care if it's show or what. My computer went out and I can't fix it.
Okay. Jared, can you fix Granny's computer?
But he tried to get a pin.
I am Steve.
Brian, what are you doing?
Now my child is sending me a voice message.
Steel chicken jockey.
Back to the show, Bryan Alvarez here. Yeti Pot Pie says, but she was blind. Guys, Yeti Pot Pie, do you know anything about people who are blind? How does a blind person read? Braille. They feel. How does a blind person walk? They use that stick and they transfer the fee. You know, they compensate with the other senses. The main one being what they feel. So if you're blind and you're choking some guy and you think he's a skinny guy with a buzz cut and no facial hair, but all of a sudden he's got hair all over your face and a beard in your arm, your elbow pit. No, you would not be confused. Now, if I were the commentator, you know what I would say? I would say she can't tell who it is because her feet hurt too bad.
The adrenaline rush.
No, her feet hurt so bad that all she feels is her feet. That's why she didn't feel the choke.
Sent her mad.
But nobody said that. Instead, it was just silly.
She could have just been having a flashback to whatever wrestler attacked her in the gym and tried to shoot a double leg on her that she had to choke out.
What?
Remember that story?
I don't remember that story.
Oh.
Some wrestler tried to shoot on her? Like in pro wrestling?
Yes.
What an idiot.
During her warm-up before the AEW show that...
Bro, I look at Marina, and even if I didn't know she was an MMA fighter, I am not trying to shoot on her. I am not. Jiminy Christmas. All right. Well, hey, we're out of time, but tonight, Brian and Vinny show, it's going to be a doozy. AEW and NXT. I can't wait. And you can check it out, WrestlingObserver.com, video.f4wonline.com, Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And, of course, lots of archived shows. There's plenty to listen to, everybody. So check it out. And that's it. Thanks, Tom. We'll talk to you next time. Wrestling Observer Live. What was that?